At this moment, the F.A.A. is going to present briefly some F.A.A. Master Pilot Awards. At this time, to do that, I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Alan Stevens. He is the Associate General Manager, F.A.A. Central Region. Mr. Stevens. How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Well, thank you, everyone, and this is always a great honor to be here amongst all these aviation professionals. I'd also like to ask that Mr. Bob Hill come up and join me on stage. Thank you, sir. Federal Aviation Administration is proud to be here and proud to present these awards. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about these awards. It's called the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award, and it's the most prestigious award the FAA issues to pilots certificated under 14 CFR Part 61. The award recognizes individuals who have exhibited professionalism, skill, and aviation expertise as pilots for at least 50 years. So tonight, would you please extend a warm welcome to Mr. John Baugh, Jr. Come on up, John. Come on up. Mr. Robert Falk.
Bob?
And last but not least, Mr. Jerry Kirby. Mr. Baugh. Alan Stevens, good to see you, sir. Okay. First, we'd like to honor Mr. John Thomas Baugh, Jr. John Baugh began training at Nashville Flying Service and soloed a Cessna 150 on May 7, 1965. He would soon purchase a Stearman biplane and entered the world of vintage World War II aircraft. By 1970, John had earned his instrument rating, commercial certificate, multi-engine rating, and flight instructor certificate. Later, he would add a commercial helicopter and single-engine C rating. John would go on to acquire a B-17 type rating and would be authorized to fly numerous other types, such as the P-51, P-40, P-47, T-28, B-25, and B-26. Wow, that's fantastic. For many years, John flew P-51, Miss Coronado, and was a familiar sight at air shows. John served as a member of the EAA Board of Directors for 22 years. He was president of EAA Warbirds of America for 8 years. John founded EAA Warbird Squadron 1 and in 1995 was inducted into the EAA Warbirds Hall of Fame. For 15 years, John served on the Tennessee Aeronautics Commission after being appointed by Governor Ned McWhirter. In 1998, John and his accomplished aviator wife, Deborah, received a Telly Award for their role in an ESPN production about the restoration of warbird aircraft. In 2004, John Baugh was inducted into the Tennessee Aviation Hall of Fame. Perhaps John's greatest contribution is that of founder member of the EAA Young Eagles program. To date, this program has introduced over 1 million children to aviation. 2 million now. Stand corrected. John is founder and the CEO of Centurion Products Incorporated. He is a Navy veteran, having served 4 years on destroyers during the Korean conflict. His wife, Deborah, and son, John Baugh III, are also accomplished pilots. John, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic, sir. Congratulations.
Maybe when we're done, when we're done with all three, maybe?
That'd be perfect. Okay.
We're going to get your wives up here. Is that what you're-
Okay, very good. The next person is Robert Irwin Falk. At the age of 12, Bob pedaled his bike 10 miles to Chicago's Willie Howell Airport and paid $3.50 for an airplane ride. That was the days. What a country. Bob's first solo occurred at Midway Airport in a Cessna 150 on May 29, 1965. A friend had informed Bob's parents that he was going to solo and brought them to the control tower, where the tower controller coached Bob's father, Irwin, to issue all the clearances to Bob. Wow. Bob was shocked to learn that it was his dad's voice in the control tower. I bet you were. While in college and working for an engineering firm, Bob's promotion of aviation led to transporting his boss to regional business meetings. In an effort to get access to higher performance aircraft, Bob and a friend started a hugely successful ZimTac Aviation Flying Club. Through the flying club, Bob earned numerous ratings and began to flight instruct. It was here he would meet, instruct, and soon afterward marry his wife, Susan. That's a good thing that you remember that. Bob would continue using the airplane for the Chicago engineering firm's business travels, and when he later accepted a position with hospital affiliates in Nashville, he purchased a Bonanza for business travel. In 1982, Bob launched his own company, Healthcare Corporation. Business travels dictated greater flexibility, and Bob would purchase a 58 Baron, followed by a King Air 200, and lastly, a Hawker Beechcraft, Premier Jet. Bob still remains current in all three aircraft and is also a glider pilot. Fantastic. Bob's use of the airplane to aid in developing a successful business is a quintessence of purposeful general aviation woven with a love of the flying machine. Bob is also a Coast Guard certified master captain up to 100 tons, a master scuba diver and instructor, author, and lecturer. In addition to Bob's wife, Susan, Bob also soloed both their children, Todd and Vanessa, who now hold pilot certificates.
And she's right there.
Fantastic. There we go. All right, let's give it a hand.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good deal. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations,
And last but not least, Mr. Jerry Neal Kirby. On Saturday, October the 13th, 1962, Jerry soloed Cessna 150 at Palm Beach International Airport. He was 19. Jerry served in the U.S. Army's 75th Field Hospital as a med tech on the C-124 and C-141 in the Tennessee Air Guard. Now we're getting into familiar territory. Jerry would later attend both Palm Beach Junior College and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and his private certificate was earned at MTSU. Jerry would soon earn his instrument rating, commercial single-engine land and sea, multi-engine land, and glider ratings. Early in his aviation career, Jerry would become affiliated with both the EAA and AOPA. Closely associated with the Globe Swift, Jerry obtained a low-level aerobatic waiver for performing air shows and would donate his performance fees to existing aviation scholarships. As a board member of the Swift Museum Foundation, Jerry would be instrumental in creating a formation and safety training program. The Swift Formation Committee was accepted as a signatory to the Formation and Safety Training, or FAST, organization and holds 2 seats on the board of directors. Jerry also served as a member of the Sumner County Regional Airport Authority. Jerry belongs to EAA Chapter 863 in Lebanon and Chapter 1363 in Gallatin. He is a past president of Nashville EAA Chapter 162. Jerry is a pilot member of the EAA Young Eagles program, and to date, he has personally flown over 425 young persons, introducing them to aviation. Jerry is also a former Eagle Scout and acts as a volunteer for the Boy Scouts of America. Jerry operates Kirby and Kirby Commercial Properties, and his wife, Linda, is a senior consultant for the 3M Corporation. Fantastic. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you, sir. If we could, before we let these gentlemen go, could we ask Deborah, Susan, and Linda to join them on the stage, please? Let's give them a hand. While they're coming up, I'd just like to say a couple of words about spouses, significant others, and family members, because without them, there is no way that these gentlemen could have done what they've done. So let's give them another hand as they come on up.
Yeah, John, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'd like to make one comment. Now, I know you're going to hate this. Somebody knew I was going to have to say something before I leave here tonight. I tell you what, it is wonderful to come back here, well, and to see all the people that I've known all these years and how they've grown up. Hoot Gibson's kids here, little bitty babies when I give them rides and we went up flying. They walk up here, they're grown people, and I got to looking, how old am I? I'll be 82 next month. Robert Hill, I want to thank Robert Hill for putting this together from the F.A.A. And of course, Bob Minner, Bob's here, of course, is the founders behind a lot of this. John Black, Jerry Kirby is the one that sent this in for me. I had no idea about it. Bruce Bolton, which is with the F.A.A., is another friend that I met in California years ago in a Mustang, and he was an FBO operator instead of an F.A.A. And unfortunately, I needed some work done, and I got it done. We've been friends ever since. But Alan Stevens, welcome aboard. I've known you from other places. He would be the person to be doing this from now on, and we appreciate it. I can tell you this, traveling all over the United States and doing air shows in Canada all this time, and everything that you can think of, at the races, Miami races, Reno, we tried them all. But I tell you, there's one FAA group in this whole United States and this world, and I hope you take this back to the office. This is the best group in the whole United States, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, from me growing up right here in the hangar, and any one of the suppliers out here, we learn on this base, and this is where it comes from. This is the best FAA group that works with you. I'd like to give them a hand, please. Now, you asked me how I survived all of these. I've flown all kinds of airplanes, first flights, after flights, fixed flights. I've refused some. 2 airplanes that I turned down was a Corsair and the P-38 when I got ready to fly it because my mechanic said it's not ready. And the guy was going to take it to California, so I never got to fly those 2 because of that. This man is in this room tonight, and I don't want the honors. I want him to have the honors because I'm alive. And at 17 years old, he was in the National Guard as a job, working on a little twin-engine, some kind of airplanes. And 6 P-51s came in, which was known as the Tennessee Squadron of P-51s. And he dropped his tools and said, that's what I want to work on. And they said, no, you can't do it. We need you on these bombers or whatever they were. And he said, I quit. And I said, how could you have quit? And he said, because back then it was a civilian job. And they didn't let him quit because he was that good at 17 years old. And he started working on P-51s. To this day, he's still working on P-51s. He stayed 35 years in the National Guard, got all the ranks that he needs, but he has been my backer in all kinds of everything I've got into, repair junk, or whatever you call it. These are old airplanes that's been found in jungles and everything else. And he has saved me many times because he knew how to teach me what to look for. And I'll tell you, all you pilots in here, pre-flight. I see people go out flying all the time that kind of walk around the airplane. I could tell you stories all night about the time of catching a failure. You catch a failure after you've flown. That's when it's going to leak and show. But I'd like to introduce Roland Coles, 47 years. Roland, stand up. Oh, very good, okay. I don't go anywhere, anytime without him. If he says no, no is no. And I thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I just want to say a few words. I'm not going to be as long-winded as John here, with all the hangar talk, and you know what hangar talk is all about. So, but anyhow, I want to thank everybody in, half a century of flying, which I look back and it seems like yesterday. And I think I'm very fortunate to have been able to teach my wife and my two kids, Bo Todd and Vanessa, who are here, are both multi-engine instrument pilots, and we use an airplane, from 50 years ago to this day. And I run 3 airplanes right now: Baron 58, a B200, Black Hawk conversion, Epic modification, and a Hawker Beechcraft Premier, who Hoot has flown at the Reno Air Show in 2011. We'd open up the air races every day with flying dignitaries around in the Premier. And it's been quite an honor, and it really is. And I have a number of people. Dr. Bruce McLeod, who I taught in Chicago 40-something years ago, is here tonight. And Bruce, stand up, and his wife, Mary. And not only did I teach my wife and my kids, but I also taught my brother-in-law, Jerry Knapp, how to fly. And Jerry, you can stand up. And you said one thing about it's really true as far as having a good spouse to support you in all this. And Susan is definitely, how do you get your wife to like flying? You make her a pilot. As simple as that. But and we have friends from all over the country here, from California to Florida, here to help me celebrate this occasion. And I just want to say one thing. If it wasn't for an airplane, I could never have done what I've done in business to this day. If you know how to use an airplane, it's another tool in your tool chest. And if you know how to use it properly, it's the greatest, most fantastic investment you could ever make. And I have to say, many times when back when I used to fly my single-engine Bonanza back and forth over the Appalachian Mountains at night, IFR conditions, rain, snow, and I said, all I want is, 2 fans, radar, and boots. But along with that, when you're sitting up there and you see the beautiful sunrises, the beautiful sunsets, and I've said many times, I look down at the earth and I say, nobody down there is enjoying what I'm enjoying. It's so fantastically beautiful, and all those poor people are not enjoying this. And then I get a little sentimental about it, and I say, thank the Lord that I have both the mental and physical ability to be able to do this. And I thank Him every day for that, and I'm still flying and very active. Thank you, everybody.
I certainly did not come prepared to speak like these guys, but no, seriously, I owe my short time in aviation to fabulous instructors, mentors, and lovely family and wife. And I have learned that aviation is a vehicle for friendships. So thank you very much for this award.
And we would also like to thank the Hall of Fame for providing this time and allowing us to present these Master Pilot Awards at this event tonight. So thanks again.